As 5 days before we conclude chapter 4 of 12 and enter the 5th chapter of the year, Tuesday greetings to our global audience and many thanks for making a date with us on another Primetime News edition. I'm Michael Madiba. In our lead tonight, Minister of Health and Social Services Dr. Kalumbi Shangula is leading a delegation of medical doctors as well as national health managers on a week-long fact-finding mission to clinics, health centers and state hospitals in the Otjiwajuba region. Mulisa Simiasa compiled our lead story.
Shangula and his delegation started the mission on Monday in the Okarara constituency. At the Okarara State Hospital, Shangula addressed nurses and administration officers, saying he is keen to listen to them as well as to see challenges they face in handling health affairs at the hospital. The minister further said clinics, health centers and hospitals in the jurisdiction of Otjiwarongo, Etunda, Otavi, Combat, Grootfontein, Gam and Tsumkwa settlements were next to be visited. The minister also plans to commemorate World Tuberculosis Day at the Tsumkwa settlement on Thursday. Friday will be dedicated to visiting Umatako and Umangeti Dune health centers in the same Tsumkwa constituency.
Staying in the Otjiwajuba region, Minister of Works and Transport John Mutoro officially opened the 3-day annual conference for the National Road Safety Council on Monday, aimed at reviewing and highlighting the road safety challenges experienced in the country. Mulisa Simiasa is on the ground tracking this event and compiled the story.
Minister of Works and Transport John Mutora, in his opening remarks at the event, reminded the attendees to be practical, constructive and analytical in discussing the problems road users and motorists face when using the national roads. Mutora further urged the conference to discuss improved public awareness strategies which work in changing the behaviors of road users across the country. These conferences, also on an annual basis, formulate resolutions as well as recommendations for safer Namibian roads.
Shifting attention to the Kavango East region. In a bid to mitigate human-wildlife conflict, the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform revealed it is embarking on borehole drilling exercise in crocodile-prone areas along the Kavango River. More from this insert.
Drilling of boreholes for crocodile-prone villages. You have read about it. There is always these challenges where people are dying because of fetching water in the Kavango River. So we are now busy drilling boreholes along the Kavango River, as well as water abstraction and treat it from the Kavango River, so that people in those communities, they have the option not to go to the river for drinking water, because government is supplying and providing this water. Our ministry has developed a thorough understanding of the water and sanitation challenges facing the country, as well as a high level of consensus regarding what needs to be done to turn the tide. This includes the capacity of surface, groundwater, shared water resources, and supply thereof to various users reliant on it for livelihood.
On a rather unfortunate note, an 18-year-old male suspect was arrested after he allegedly beat his father to death at Sinono village in the Kavango West region's Musese constituency. In a similar incident, a 53-year-old woman was killed allegedly by a 25-year-old son in the same region. More from this report.
In a crime report issued by the Namibian police force recently, it alleged that the male suspect was arrested after he allegedly hit his biological father, 34-year-old Simu Sihova, with a hard stick after an argument. The suspect has been arrested and police investigations into the matter continue. In a separate incident, the Namibian police force reported that the 25-year-old suspect hit his biological mother with a hoe on the head, causing her death instantly. The incident occurred in Kavango West Ekuli village in the Tondoro constituency on Sunday. The suspect has been arrested. The next of kin have been informed. Reporting for Primetime News, I'm Selima Shumwefeleni Masipa.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to Primetime Biz, the segment that makes sense of all things business and economics. Kickstarting the segment, Urban and Rural Development Minister Erastus Utonie says it is imperative that every income category is provided with housing products that correspond with their financial position to ensure that every Namibian gets decent housing. Utonie shared the sentiments during the handover of 102 plots for low-cost housing to residents of Henties Bay on Monday. Our regional correspondent Isabel Bento filed this report.
These were the sentiments of Urban and Rural Development Minister Erastus Utonie during the handover of 102 plots for low-cost housing to residents of Henties Bay on Monday. According to Utonie, the government recognizes everyone's right to an adequate standard of living, including adequate housing, and the provision of basic infrastructure and services remains one of the top priorities at all levels of government, including central, regional, and local levels. The minister, however, admitted that due to countless competing priorities, government is unable to provide houses alone and emphasized the importance of stakeholder support within the housing sector. The chairperson of the Henties Bay Town Council Management Committee, Paulus Limbamba, noted that the location of land is part of the council's plan to decongest the town's informal settlement of Kleis and Omdel. Alton Gossip, who received a plot, expressed his satisfaction with the town council and ministry for their efforts to continue providing decent housing for the residents of Henties, noting that soon informal settlements at the town will cease to exist. The plots are government funded at a cost of 15 million Namibian dollars and have been surveyed and serviced with water and sewer reticulation.
On to neighboring Zimbabwe, where the Reserve Bank is set to introduce a gold-backed digital currency to reduce demand for the US dollar as the local currency continues to tumble. More from this report.
The digital gold tokens, a form of electronic money backed by gold held at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, will allow those holding small amounts of Zimbabwean dollars to exchange their money for the tokens in order to hedge against exchange rate volatility. The Zimbabwean economy has a dual currency structure composed of the Zimbabwean dollar and the US dollar, with the US dollar currently dominant and constituting about 70% of domestic transactions, according to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe.
This brings us to the end of the top news segment for tonight. Now, a look at what the weather has in store for us. From Sport Planet, football leads the segment. Tottenham on Monday sacked their caretaker coach Christian Stellini in the wake of their 6-1 humiliation to Newcastle United. The Italian had only been in the role for a month after Antonio Conte left the club at the end of March, but the man who had been Conte's assistant at the club has now gone the same way as his former boss. On to the battle of the Titans. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has urged his Premier League leaders to make the most of an incredible opportunity when they travel to nearest challengers Manchester City on Wednesday. The Gunners are 5 points clear of second-place City but have played 2 games more than the reigning champions. Anything other than a first away win against City since 2015 would leave the destiny of the title in Pep Guardiola's side's hands. Arsenal have drawn their last 3 league games, raising doubts over whether a youthful side can deliver the North London club's first Premier League crown in 19 years. Stay tuned for your sports roundup. On that note, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Thanks for watching. Do make a date with us tomorrow for the Primetime News Midweek edition. From myself, Michael Medimba, and the entire crew that ensures this production comes to life, it's good night.